My dad gave my brother $100K for a business and gave me nothing but a "you're the worthless one" speech. So I terminated all contact with them until 2 years later when my brother showed up at my property in a panic. I stood on the porch watching him pace in frantic circles, phone pressed to his ear saying, "Dad, you need to come here right now." He stared at what I'd built behind me like it was a ghost he couldn't believe existed. The timber walls glowing in moonlight, the fenced pastures rolling like dark waves, the hum of machinery I'd invested in. Where they saw nothing, I'd built everything. 2 years ago, I didn't slam the door when I left that dinner table. I just stepped into the cold winter air and whispered to the night, "They'll never hear from me again." And they didn't. I sold everything I owned, waitressed, cleaned motel rooms, picked up contracts no one else wanted. Every cent poured into foreclosed land. Every setback sharpened me. I bought a forgotten ranch with cash I'd bled for and turned it into something alive. My brother stood staring at the stables, the barns, the equipment like they threatened him. "How the hell did you do this?" He finally spat, his voice trembling. I leaned against the railing I'd sanded myself. By being worthless. Remember? For the first time in his life, he couldn't laugh me off. He couldn't reduce me to an afterthought. The silence that followed was heavier than stone. 3 cars pulled onto my property the next afternoon. My father stepped out first, coat sharp as ever, expression colder than winter. His gaze flickered across my land. Surprise, maybe respect, buried fast beneath disdain. "So this is where you've been hiding," he said smoothly. "Playing farmer while your brother and I were working in the real world." I didn't flinch. Funny, from where I'm standing, the real world looks like unpaid debts and failed ventures. My brother's smirk died. My father's jaw tightened. He took a step forward, lowering his voice. "You've made your point, but let's be realistic. You don't have the experience to manage all this. You'll fail. Better to fold it into family hands." Family hands. The same hands that shoved me from the table. I met his gaze evenly. "When you called me worthless, did you imagine I'd still build something worth more than your son's empire of excuses?" The words landed sharp. My brother shifted uncomfortably. My father stood rooted, pride warring with disbelief. Then his mask slipped. "Your brother came to me last month," he said quietly. "The business drained everything. Banks are circling. I had to bail him out again." The words hung in the air, heavy, damning. My brother's face betrayed him. Panic, shame, rage. I stepped closer, my voice low. "Every check you wrote him wasn't an investment. It was a leash. Me? I cut mine the night you called me worthless." My brother lunged forward. "You think this ranch makes you better than me? You're nothing without us." His voice cracked, echoing off the timber beams. I stepped closer until I saw sweat on his forehead. "I didn't steal anything. I worked. Something you've never done without a hand outstretched." His face twisted. "I'll destroy this place before I let you keep it." But before his hand could touch me, my father barked his name. My brother froze, chest heaving, knuckles white. I turned and walked toward the porch. "2 years ago, you called me worthless," I said, my voice calm. "But look what worthless built." The barn stood tall in the moonlight. The pastures stretched into darkness. Every acre was proof. My father tried one last strike. "Blood is blood. You can't erase us." I shook my head. "I don't need to erase you. You erased me when you chose him." I walked to the railing. "Leave," I said. "This land is mine. My life is mine. And the only thing you'll inherit from me is silence." For a moment, they didn't move. Then they turned toward their cars. My brother shouted something I didn't catch. My father didn't look back. I stood there until their taillights disappeared. And for the first time in years, I exhaled. Not with anger, but with peace. The world had called me worthless. Yet here I was, surrounded by proof that worth is not given. It's built.